Hey Dhar Mann fam, today I'll be doing a tier list of the most beloved characters in the Dhar Mann cinematic universe. Each character has a lot of lore and depth to them, and they've inspired us and challenged us to be better people. They're not just telling stories, they're changing lives. So you see, I thought it would be a fun tier list to make. Young man ranks Dhar Mann characters. What happens next is shocking. I'd like to start with one of my favorite characters, not only in the Dhar Mann extended universe, but just all-time favorite characters, up there with some of the greats like Darth Vader, RoboCop, Wall-E. I'm of course talking about Steve. You'll recognize Steve from classics such as Daughter Chooses Stepdad Over Real Dad, and Babysitter Tries to Seduce Husband. Steve has really had a breakout performance in all of the works he's been associated with and became a superstar. Who could forget the time the babysitter tried to gobble on his meat and he responded with, "Maybe I haven't made this abundantly clear, but I love my wife." I fucking blasted into my seat. The acting was ethereal. I'd never experienced something like that. Steve is able to enter this avatar state of acting and deliver not only an incredible performance but a thought-provoking one as well. He's able to deliver such profound lines and make the viewer really think about their life choices as well. He becomes kind of like a vessel for us to peer into and kind of become one with. Steve isn't just a character. He's an entire icon. And for that reason, Steve will of course be cemented firmly in the S tier. Steve has had many other roles in the Dhar Mann extended universe, some great ones such as the time he was a tennis champion and he pulls it out of the cum dumpster and he says, "Look at this, I once won a tennis championship," which inspires his son to win tennis as well. Steve has just really done it all and is just an all-around incredible character. Now I'd like to take a moment to talk about Displate. You see, Displate is some of the finest art you can ever hang in your home. It's beautiful metal pieces that are super easy to install. It takes literal seconds. It's just a magnet that you'll stick on the wall and you'll stick the plate on the wall. They look great. They're easy to install. I don't have any on hand to show you because I've just hung all of them up at the warehouse recently, but I showed you a few of them last time. I have a Yu-Gi-Oh one, a One Punch Man one, Dark Souls, and a vagina. And let me tell you, the vagina really lightens up a room. That is a conversation starter. Everyone who enters the room with the vagina displate on it is absolutely jaw on the floor wondering where they can find something like that. And I always tell them, at Displate, 1.4 million artists to choose from. You can do some custom pieces as well if you want. So yeah, if you're interested in Displate, you can click the link in the description below to get up to 33% off. Next up, we have SSSniperWolf. It's unfortunate that most people know her as a YouTuber as opposed to a Dhar Mann character, but I think that's finally starting to change. She has done incredible work in the Dhar Mann universe. If there is a child being bullied at school, you can bet your sweet asshole SSSniperWolf is going to find that school and give that kid a PS5 and teach them that it's okay to be a gamer and teach them about the joy of streaming and stand up to the bullies. So I think she not only teaches a valuable lesson, but she's like the fucking Santa Claus of Dhar Mann universe. She always has like a PS5 to give away. She's always giving away her merch and very generously shouting out that she has a merch line. She just really does it all in the universe and is just a positive force in there. She taught us that it's okay for girls to play games and even stream it, which is unheard of in this day and age. Remember when Psycho Mantis was feeling down about her streaming? And then SniperWolf came and said, "Nope, girl can play game, let's do it." And Psycho Mantis did it. She even taught us that the best way to stand up for bullies is to make them financially reliant on you. You remember Psycho Mantis' bully at school? Turns out his mom was poor as fuck, real broke, car breaking down and shit, about to be evicted, and SniperWolf said, "Watch this. I'm gonna pay for their month of rent." And then right when they paid for that month, she then created this cycle where they're gonna have to keep relying on SniperWolf to pay their bills. So now that bully is suckling on your teats. Now they need you. So you win in the end, because now you control them like the puppeteer and they're on your strings. I have no doubt that bully is now one of Psycho Mantis' mod in her Twitch streams. You and your mother don't want to be homeless, do you? I won't be paying your month's rent this time if you're not going to be cleaning up my chat. Overall, I think SniperWolf deserves to be in the S tier, an overall incredible force in the Dhar Mann universe with a positive message. Next up, we have a criminally underrated character in the Dhar Mann universe, Calvin. I believe he's only been in a single Dhar Mann short, which is Athlete Peer Pressure's Nerd to Drink, which is one of the finest productions Dhar Mann has created so far. It's a true masterpiece. You see, Calvin and his friend Nelson are nerds. They do homework. They do school shit. And they don't drink beers, they don't butt chug, they don't shoot up heroin. They're as square as you can get. But they find themselves at this party, and there's this group of cool athletes and some babes that are like, hey, Calvin, you want to drink some beer with us? And he's like, hey, fuck yeah, I'll shotgun this shit right now. So then he starts chugging the alcohol, and they're like, hey, Calvin, do you want a cigarette? And he's like, oh my fucking god, a cigarette? Well, what in tarnation? What are you waiting for? Toss me one of those ciggies. So then he's puffing on a cigarette, and then they break out the pills. They're like, hey, you ever tried these Dr. Mario pills? And he's like, no, but let's fucking go. And the whole time Nelson's trying to hold him back and cockblock him. And the message is his life spirals downhill because he had one fun night and he's now a loser. Nelson's driving a Porsche and he owns 15,000 companies and is a quadrillionaire. But the thing is, the message of the video is not all athletes are assholes. Out of nowhere, this group of jocks just invites Calvin to be a good friend with them, and they extended it to Nelson as well, who unfortunately declined. So this one just really had a lot of moving parts to it, and I think Calvin delivered a performance that'll stand the test of time. Calvin is going into the S tier. Next up we have Kate. Kate typically plays an evil character in the Dhar Mann universe. She's kind of like the Willem Dafoe of Dhar Mann Productions. When you see her in the video, you get a little frown on your face like, there's that fucking Kate girl again. She's gonna be mean or something. In fact, she was actually the babysitter that tried to fuck Steve while he was married. She tried to fucking peg Steve while he was married to someone else. So she does bad stuff because she's not a good person in the Dhar Mann world. But by far her most evil role was the time that she broke up with her boyfriend Jay because he was too short. This threw me into a frenzy. I couldn't sleep that night. Very unrealistic. There's no such thing as too short for men. I think we can all agree with that sentiment. And Kate's heartlessness and callousness towards Jay, who showed her nothing but love, to break up with him because he wasn't 6'5", a professional athlete with billions of dollars, and perhaps maybe wasn't even the best gamer either. Maybe he was only classified as an above average gamer in certain games, mainly like the Souls series. And to just break his heart like that. But luckily, of course, it's Dhar Mann, so there is a happy ending and a message. She chose a taller man who didn't respect her, didn't like her, so they broke up, and Kate regrets it. Then she sees Jay out with another tall woman, and she's like, how can you love a man like that who's very short? Fucking like calling him a hobbit or something, just being real rude. And she's like, it's not about what's on the outside that matters, it's about what's on the inside. And then I got mad again. It's like, what the fuck do you mean it doesn't matter what's on the outside? He's not even that short. Dude's like 5'9". It's not like that's repugnant or repulsive or anything. So Dhar Mann just, that video made me sad, and it's all because of Kate. So for that reason, Kate's getting a C tier, because she's a very good actress and plays the villain well, but this one hurt my feelings. Next up we have Stan Lee from the Emmy-winning episode Rich Kid Won't Spend Holidays with Poor Grandpa, gets taught a lesson. Unfortunately, Stan Lee is no longer with us, but luckily his cameos in the Dhar Mann and Marvel Cinematic Universe live on. Stan Lee plays the grandfather here for Thanksgiving, and the kid doesn't like it because he doesn't have a whole ton of money. Which is weird because this dude fucking invented Spider-Man. But anyway, the kid eventually learns, it's not always about money, sometimes family's good enough. And the whole time, Stan Lee's just taking the abuse, he's just being told to his face that he's poor. The kid's like, I don't want to spend time with this fucking old sponge-looking guy, he doesn't even have money, or an iPad, or a Nintendo Switch. What am I supposed to do here? He's fucking poor! And Stan Lee's like, well, I am, I don't have any of those things. He just sits there and takes it with a smile on his face and love in his heart. And for that reason, Stan Lee, easily S tier. Now, since this is a tier list for Dhar Mann characters, I absolutely need to mention the most talented actress in the entire universe of Dhar Mann. Her name's Catherine Norland. She's in pretty much every single episode. She's the lady that has the 2 different colored eyes. And she's the one that actually gives real effort into each role that she's in and tries her absolute best. And I think she does a really good job, to be honest. I just really appreciate how hard she works at it and takes it. I think it's great. I think she makes a lot of these as fun as they are, because if everyone was putting no effort into it, it wouldn't be nearly as enjoyable. So Catherine Norland absolutely getting an S tier. Next up we have FaZe Rug, another YouTuber turned Dhar Mann actor. FaZe Rug taught us about FaZe Clan's merch line, as well as teaching us that shyness is a superpower, and if you're shy, you're one of the chosen ones, like an X-Men. You have something very special about you. And FaZe Rug taught us how to use that shyness to become the best streamer and content creator this world has ever fucking seen. And not only can you be the best content creator, but you can also get FaZe Clan merch, and who knows, maybe one day you'll also be a part of the FaZe Clan, is what FaZe Rug says in the video. That's an S tier, baby. Absolutely, all day. And now to finish off the tier list, we're going to be ranking Dhar Mann himself. He is actually in his own universe as a self-insert. Oftentimes the characters are reading his inspirational book called You See, where they're not only reading a book, they're changing their life. And also, in a couple episodes, they're trying to get a job at Dhar Mann Studios, so Dhar Mann makes a more direct appearance in his own work. I think Dhar Mann needs to go above the S tier. He's in like the double S, the triple S, super smokin' style S tier, quadruple, absolutely highest possible celestial tier. Dhar Mann has done something no one else has. He's taken lessons that we'd probably teach AI about human emotions and produced an entire YouTube series out of it. And it's really well made, well produced, and it is extremely enjoyable to watch. Unironically love the Dhar Mann videos, so Dhar Mann's gonna go safely in the highest possible tier. So that's about it. So yeah.